Welcome back to Charged Motion, brought to you by Two Guys Toys and More. That is the number 2guystoysandmore.com. My name is Saximus.
My name is Ghoul.
Ghoul, what have you been playing this week?
Not as much Street Fighter as I've been wanting to. Haven't like had as much time to play fighting games as I normally like to have, but I'm still playing Street Fighter after the update. I'm having a lot of fun. My character's got a lot of cool buffs and stuff, so I've been having fun with that.
And I'm excited because it's new Smash Character Day.
New Smash Character Day.
Smash Character. As of this recording, I've not had a chance to try out Pyra and Mythra, but Sakurai did a live stream about 35 minutes long where he does what he usually does with DLC characters. He breaks down their mechanics, their moves, their origins, and I know we discussed this before, but I really wish more fighting game devs did what Sakurai did.
Oh my god, it would be so nice to just like have. I mean, Capcom kind of did it for Dan, but it was like the night before he came out or something like that.
Yeah,
which I guess is the same as Sakurai, but it was cool.
Yeah, it's a little different because with Smash, Sakurai has pre-established characters to work with, and a lot of the stuff he covers is references to the source material. But what he does is he goes through every single character. Well, not every single character. He goes through every single move of the character that he's covering, the mechanics, how they work, possible ways the moves can synergize with one another, then their stage, then their music, then new Mii costumes. It's this whole thing.
Yeah,
and the whole internet turns out for it, even though it aired at like 6 a.m. on California time, which we're not in. But Pyra and Mythra look really cool. I predicted correctly in when I said a couple episodes ago that I thought Pyra was going to be more power focused, Mythra was going to be more speed focused. Their normals all look very similar to one another, regular anime sword fighter moves.
Yeah.
But Mythra has much better frame data, much better startup and recovery in a lot of her moves. I think someone on Twitter analyzed the footage and said like her jab was like frame 2.
Wow, that's fast.
It's very fast. And also much better movement speed overall. Run speed, jump height, fall speed. I don't remember whether Sakurai went over air speed or air acceleration, but it's probably reasonable to assume that Mythra has higher stuff too. But the trade-off is that Pyra can hit like a truck, and like a fully charged F smash can kill off the ledge at like 20. I think those are the examples you used on Mario. Yeah, it's nuts. And just like with Pokemon Trainer, switching between the two with down B is very quick.
Okay.
Which can be good as kind of like a pseudo dodge, which is really good, and their specials are completely different from one another.
Oh,
which can help differentiate them.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Pyra has this move where she throws the sword and spins, and it returns to her, which kind of strikes me as like a all-in-one ledge covering move. Like you throw it on the ledge, and that's your edge guard. Up B is kind of like Ike's or Mii Sword Fighter's default up B, straight up and straight down, but It's got this eruption when it hits with really great kill power on the ground.
Oh, okay.
But both characters look like they're gonna have really good up Bs out of shield. Trying to think. Yeah, the side B was the throwing the sword. Mythra has a side B that looks very similar to Sephiroth's Octaslash, and I don't like it. It's probably the one thing about the characters I don't like because visually it's very chaotic. She does like the anime thing where she teleports all over the place, and just covers this wide area. But it's the problem I have with it is that it's not really visually clear, like where exactly her hurt box is.
Okay.
I mean, it's really easy to assume that like the whole area of the attack is a giant hitbox.
Yeah.
But Sakurai said that it is possible to stop Mythra in the middle of the attack. It's not clear exactly where she's where she is at any given moment. And her up B is really interesting. Jumps up and throws projectiles down diagonally at about like a 30-45 degree angle.
Interesting.
Tap for a single projectile and hold for a spray, which is very cool.
Okay, so like Akuma fireballs, jump in the air and
kind of
shoot diagonally.
Kind of, yeah. But we've hold the button's kind of like a shotgun burst, so I think she sends out 5. I'm very excited. I know it's more anime sword fighters. I personally have no problem with that.
Me either.
Yeah, and we also got some new Mii costumes. as a me player myself, I'm always looking forward to that. Surprisingly, not a huge batch. We got some Monster Hunter costumes, and we got a costume of Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, and that's it.
You know what? I'm surprised that the Arthur costume is new. Like, I'm surprised it hasn't been in already.
Yeah.
Considering that Ryu has it in Street Fighter V.
He does, doesn't he?
He does.
It's so weird. Yeah, but like there were no like really big surprises like Sans or Cuphead or Volt Boy.
So nothing giant like that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, no, they are both Capcom properties, and Sakurai said that it was because Monster Hunter Rise, I think it is, coming out soon.
Yeah, that's right. There's a new Monster Hunter coming out soon.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they would have some crossover promotion for it.
Yeah, but it makes it gets people thinking about what Capcom properties are not yet represented in Smash.
Yeah.
We have Street Fighter, we have Monster Hunter, and we have Ghosts and Goblins.
Darkstalkers.
We don't have and we have Mega Man, obviously.
We have Mega Man.
We don't have Darkstalkers.
We don't have Devil May Cry.
We don't have Devil May Cry. We don't have Ace Attorney. We don't have Okami. I mean,
Oh man, Ame would be super cool in Smash.
Amaterasu, yeah. We got 2 characters left. I'm still holding out for Phoenix Wright. But even if it's just a Mikasa, I'm okay with that.
So my question about what we've seen is, does it look like Pyrrha/Mithra is going to be a thing where like you main either or and then you just don't use your down B? Or is it the type of thing where knowing how to use both of them is incredibly important?
I would say closer to the latter, because it's an interesting situation. Because I'm thinking in Melee in particular, with Sheik and Zelda, everyone uses Sheik, no one uses Zelda.
Right.
Because Zelda sucks in Melee. And Sheik is one of the best characters in the game. But I think because Ultimate is actually balanced,
More
for
or less,
competitive
yeah.
play, unlike Melee. Sakurai himself has said that there's a lot of different ways you can use them. I think it's going to be closer to like a current Pokemon trainer situation where like all the best players are going to be able to properly take advantage of everything that both characters have to offer.
Cool, because I've always felt like I was a Sheik player in Melee, and I always thought it was like kind of lame that I have this down B that just turns me into a different character that is kind of useless in the Sheik Zelda situation, because it's like Zelda's not only is Zelda a completely different character, but she also sucks.
In Melee, yeah, she sucks.
So it's like now I'm playing Sheik, but I've essentially lost a move, more or less. So like I'm excited to see like what kind of cool things people can pull off with Pyrrha/Mithra. And like you said, if the transition is fast enough, there could be like some cool swap combos and.
Oh yeah, because it's a similar thing with Pokemon Trainer, because between Brawl and Ultimate, Pokemon Switch got a lot faster, so it is possible to start a combo with one Pokemon and then continue the combo with a different one. And I can definitely foresee that happening in Pyrrha/Mithra's case too. Sakurai said there's a lot of different ways to play the character. You could rack up damage with Mithra using her speed and combos, and then use Pyra to finish them off, or hit him a few times with Pyra and then use Mithra to kind of dance around them, confuse them, and get the kill with Mithra,
right.
Or just stick with one or the other. So
right.
I think it's being able to pick one and not use the other is perfectly viable. You really only use one move, only lose one move in down B, but. Like I said, with Pokemon Trainer, I think the best players are going to be able to take advantage of everything that both have to offer.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But that's cool. It's going to be exciting to see how, modern Smash players take that swap between two characters and like really make it work. Like I know there's Pokemon Trainer players.
Yeah, and Pokemon Trainer as a whole is also one of the best characters in the game too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get to be 3 characters.
Well, yeah, but it also has to do with the fact that all 3 Pokemon are really solid in their own right. So, and it also helps by the fact that their specials are all completely different. And I looked it up again just to make sure I was saying what I was saying. Pyro's neutral B is kind of like a Link spin attack. Actually gave me Milia vibes, because she kind of spins the sword around her, kind of similar to.
Oh, and she can like sort of still move while she does it or something like that?
She can kind of drift back and forth slightly.
Okay.
What's that move Milia has, where she spins the hair around her?
I think most people just call it disc, because like she She
Yeah, it's
like,
kinda like that.
for in Milia's case, she like leaves a lingering projectile hitbox, and then she can like move around like while it's still there.
Yeah, like Pyra can kind of move slightly back and forth. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if she does it and it's unsafe, you can kind of drift out of the range of your opponent's attack. It's kind of like that. And then, Mithra's neutral B is like Mii Sword Fighter's. Well, one of Mii Sword Fighter's neutral B, where you can charge it up and then you just do a bunch of quick slashes. So
Cool. Definitely going to be an interesting character.
yes,
Or characters.
I am looking forward to it, and I have not had a chance to look at the patch notes, because you never, you know, because alongside every new character in Smash, there comes alongside a new set of patch notes.
Yeah.
So some of them are really huge, some of them are really inconsequential. So I'm sure I'll have more to talk about that next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of new things being revealed,
Yes.
we got to see Andy Bogard
Yay,
for KOF 15. Yeah, we've talked about KOF like every week because they just keep putting out more trailers and stuff. Andy looks like Andy and fire punches and stuff. Like, I don't know a lot about the game, so I'm not going to talk in depth about like, you know, the character and what I expect him to do because I really don't know that much about him. I'll probably go back into 14 and play him a little bit.
Yeah.
But what I can comment on is the graphical upgrade that the models received.
It looks really good.
KOF 15, like, so people have been saying since the first footage of 15 has dropped that it just looks like 14. And if you actually look at Andy's model specifically, like, Andy has definitely the biggest change. But like, if you look at his 14 model and look at his 15 model side by side, saying that the two games look similar is just false.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Andy has more muscle definition because, like, he looks like a stick figure in 14. His face has, you know, more unique features, and his hair looks like hair instead of a wig made of Laffy Taffy.
I'm thinking of Ken's banana hair.
Ken's banana hair. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 14 model was pretty similar to the banana head that we got in SF5. But 14 just looks so much better. I'm excited about the game now that SNK has in fact said the magic word.
Finally.
They said rollback.
They said rollback. And it was like not long after we recorded last week's episode.
I think it might have been like the next day.
I think it was. Yeah.
I actually think you guys saw that episode after he had said it.
Yeah.
And we probably looked like jerks, but he hadn't said it when we recorded.
Yeah.
But he said it now. They said that KOF 15, the team has been working on implementing rollback from early in development.
Which is what you need to do. Because
what you need to do.
It's not something you can just kind of copy and paste into your game.
Yes. I obviously paraphrased what he said. But it has been stated that KOF 15 is working on rollback netcode. Which is great because now I can buy it.
Yeah.
Now I can buy it and now I can play it.
Yeah, we were saying no rollback, no buy, and now we're gonna buy it because
Yeah,
it's got rollback.
I will absolutely buy KOF 15.
Yeah, because I have KOF 14 on Steam, and I haven't really messed around with it too much because
The netcode is bad.
netcode is bad. Who am I gonna play with?
The game is fun. The game is fun.
Oh yeah, no, I like the game, but
but
who am I gonna play with?
But yeah, this is just, you know, we said it. I don't think we can say it enough that if you're making a fighting game, you need to make the online experience good.
You do.
You need to make it so that people can play your game online. The days of fighting games are meant to be played offline don't exist anymore,
No.
especially if you're still in the States. But
And apparently in Japan, COVID has also been pretty bad too. Because at the beginning of the presentation, Sakurai said that he's recording from his home instead of in the studio.
oh wow,
Because they've had a lot of trouble with it too. So it's not just in the United States.
I actually hadn't heard about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you need to make your games playable online. It's not just about COVID. It's about people who don't have a local scene. It's about people who, for one reason or another, can't travel to go to their local scene. You just want more people to be able to play your game. And I don't know
Exactly.
why that's such a controversial thing, but it is, and I'm taking a stand on it.
From what I hear, it just has to do with how the Japanese game industry works, and I don't really feel knowledgeable enough to properly elaborate on that. But that's just just a different work culture.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, so we got KOF, and speaking of games with rollback, Guilty Gear Strive is getting delayed until what, June?
June, yeah.
Yeah.
It's delays are always bittersweet to me. Because one, yeah, it sucks we have to wait longer for the game to come out. And I was really excited to play it. I'd have it pre-ordered and everything. But at the same time, I want the devs to take the time that they need to make the game good. Right? They need to fix the lobby system, which is in the Twitter announcement, that's specifically what they said that they were working on.
Yes.
Was the functionality of the lobby, which is good because that's the biggest thing that from the beta, that's the largest thing that people had issues with, and they're taking the extra time that they need to make sure that they give us a product that we want, and I appreciate that from ArcSys. It sucks. We have to wait a little bit longer to get the game, but I'm not all that stressed about it.
If that results in a better product at launch, and hopefully I can hope that it reduces the possibility of crunch.
Yeah.
On the development side, I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have my copy pre-ordered. I pre-ordered the digital deluxe edition, so I want the game that I get to be good.
Yes.
I spent $90 on it. When it comes out, whenever that may be, I want it to be good, and that's that.
Yeah. What was the exact day in June? I think it was June.
I don't recall off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like the 11th. Something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, it's delayed a couple months, more or less.
All right. Once again, Charge Motion is brought to you by TwoGuysToysAndMore.com. Head on to their website to buy toys.
Toys,
more.
retro games.
Yeah.
All sorts of cool stuff on that website. So big shout out to those guys for bringing you today's episode.
Yes.
Guilty Gear. Speaking of Guilty Gear, Strive being delayed is one thing, but while you're waiting for Strive, you should go back and play Accent Core Plus R.
I'm amazed as to how much this game has been revived.
So the game has rollback.
The game got updated with rollback.
The game has really cool characters with really cool designs, as Guilty Gear does.
Yeah.
But it also just got one of the coolest features I've ever seen in a fighting game. And it's a training mode feature that allows you to play a replay, like watch a replay of a game that you've already played.
Right.
And you can watch the replay and then take control of one of the characters during the replay.
That's absurd.
And then you can lab the situation organically as it happened inside the match. So if you're getting hit with a mix-up, or you don't know how to block something, or what have you, and you don't know the character enough to know what moves they're doing to help you recreate it in training mode, you can watch your replay of the match that you got beat in, fast forward up to that part where you were getting hit, and then pause it, take control of your character, and then try to block the mix-up in real time.
That is the coolest thing.
It's so cool, and it's one of those things that, like, fighting game players have always said stuff like, oh, it would be cool if I could do this. But I don't think anybody ever actually expected it to happen inside a game.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that it's being put in an old game and not like a launch feature in a newer game is really surprising to me.
Now I want to see it in every game.
Yeah, me too.
Like, why doesn't every game have it? I mean, the closest thing we have in the modern market is Tekken's replay and tips feature, which lets you watch the replay and then it pauses the replay when you've missed a punish, and then it tells you what punish you can do. But even that's limited, because it only helps you work on punishment, like specifically block punishment.
Right.
It doesn't help you, learn how to block something, or it doesn't help you learn options to get out of a certain mix-up or things like that. It literally only helps you with one thing.
Right.
This will be, it's the most versatile feature ever.
Yeah.
And to think, like, Plus R it's almost becoming like the golden standard of what a fighting game should be right now. The fact that it has rollback and it has all of these, like, this really cool training mode feature. I'm upset if they don't implement it into Strive.
Yeah.
At this point, especially now that they've delayed the game to keep working on it.
I mean, there's also the fact that because the game is so old, it goes on sale
All the time.
Yeah, all the time, relatively frequently.
I think I got it for like $4.
I think I got like 3.
Yeah. So pick up Accent Core Plus R if you're waiting for Guilty Gear Strive and you don't want to play XR because the netcode is bad.
Also, I think XR, if it's not full price, it's close to full price.
Yeah.
At least for Rev 2. So
Pick up Accent Core Plus R and play it. It's great. It's fun.
yes, I'm very bad at it, but it's fun.
I'm bad at it too.
Yeah.
That's okay. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about that feature in particular because it's so strange that, like, one, why haven't we had this before? And two, who thought to put it in now?
And in plus R of all things.
Yeah.
As opposed to not plus R. I don't
Yeah,
know.
put instead of any new game.
Yeah.
Let's retroactively put it into an old game.
Yeah, they could have put it in Grand Blue or Dragon Ball Fighters or Strive,
Right.
but no. I'm very very much looking forward to messing around with this.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be super cool, and it's going to change the way that practice mode works. And I think it'll help sort of fix the training mode is boring thing that we had that, sort of goes around in the FGC.
You know that one meme that shows a golden retriever surrounded by chemistry equipment wearing goggles, and and the caption is, "I have no idea what I'm doing."
Yes.
I that feeling is I would assume is the feeling a lot of people get, myself included, when they hop into the lab to practice stuff.
Yeah.
Because any good training mode for a fighting game has a ton of options,
So many options.
but it's very difficult to properly know how to take advantage of all of them.
Exactly.
Like if you want to work on one specific thing, in any good training mode, you can have the CPU do pretty much whatever you need it to do.
Yeah, there's usually a record feature.
Yeah. But I think a tool like this makes it just so much easier to hop into the lab and practice exactly what it is you need practicing with without having to fiddle with the settings or whatever.
Right, like I was playing Street Fighter V like last week, and I kept getting I was playing against a Zangief. I knocked him down in the corner, and I kept trying to back walk to avoid a throw, and I kept getting hit by SPD. So I'm like, how big is the range on this command grab? So after I lost, I went into the lab, and I set the Zangief to do wake up SPD, because that's what my opponent was doing in the thing. It took me maybe like 15 extra minutes just to do the SPD. Because
Really?
it's a 360
Oh,
input.
it is a 360 input.
And I had to do it with reversal timing to try and like figure out the situation. So if I had this feature, I could have just loaded up the replay of me getting grabbed and then, taking control of my character and figured out what I could have done instead of trying to backwalk.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't even think of that. If you're trying to lap against a specific character, if you don't know the inputs for that character.
Or if, you're just not able to physically perform the move yet.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of hard moves to do, especially in like anime games like Guilty Gear.
Like I play on Hitbox, and I have no friggin' idea how to do a 720 input on a Hitbox. I know it's possible.
Yeah.
I can't do it reliably.
So it's one of those things that's like, okay, I don't have to lab the execution of the move to be able to do it, just so that I can
Practice
against it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm very much looking forward to that. Another big update. Skullgirls.
Skullgirls.
Continuing the wonderful saga of Season 1 pass. As of this recording, I have not had a chance to play her yet, but Annie is slated to release by the end of the week, along with the Season 1 pass, which is available for purchase. And in the Steam post, the Autumn Games also announced that they are working with Future Club, which is the development studio that was founded by a bunch of the former members of Lab Zero, because Lab Zero kind of imploded for reasons over the summer of 2020, and a lot of the former employees that used to work on Skullgirls made their own development studio. And it's employee owned, which is awesome, and I'm very happy that they're also able to continue working on the game that they've been working on for the better part of a literal decade.
Yeah, that's awesome. That
Yeah.
they get to get out of the work environment that they were in that wasn't great.
Wasn't great.
And they get to have an employee-owned company and still continue to work on the game that they've put all of this time and effort and passion into.
Exactly.
That's just awesome, and I'm really happy for them. And I'm really happy for Skullgirls players that, you guys finally get all of this content a decade after release.
Yeah. And like I've said before, when Robo Fortune dropped, we all kind of assumed that, all right, well, that's going to be it for the game, and we were fine with that. A tight 14 character roster, and just to suddenly have up to 5 more characters, including Annie, to look forward to in season 1.
In season 1, they specified that it's season 1.
Yes. I'm over the moon, and I made a mistake. It wasn't Autumn Games. It was Hidden Variable, which is the studio that develops the mobile game. So Hidden Variable and Future Club are working with Autumn Studios to bring more Skullgirls to the masses. So hopefully by this time next week, I will have all of this Annie-related stuff to gush about. What's really interesting, is, even though it's really only interesting for fellow Skullgirls players, is that there were 2 versions of the game on Steam. There was the base game and the beta version, dubbed Endless Beta. They are retiring the Endless Beta.
The Endless Beta is ending?
The Endless Beta is ending, and now the beta is going to be accessed from inside the base game. Because apparently when it drops, when you launch it, you're going to have an option to play the game as it is or play the beta with Annie. So Annie's going to be early access by the end of this week, and like I said, hopefully I will have a lot more information to share about her. I'll be able to gush about her. Maybe I'll work her into my team comp. So I don't know.
She might take my 3rd slot.
Yeah, she looks good. Like I said, I've said before that she kind of gives me Soul Bad Guy vibes.
Right.
Which I'm okay with. I think it's kind of a character archetype that Skullgirls was missing. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to it because she's got her sword, she's got an install super, she's got a beam super. So, and the game is also on sale right now. I think, and we're not being paid to promote this, by the way. I just really love this game. It is on sale on Steam until March 10th for $10. And that is including the second Encore upgrade. So all of the characters are included in the $10. And
then you do still have to buy the Season 1 pass, right?
Yes. The Season 1 pass is going to be on sale. I know I've talked about it before. It's the MSRP is going to be $35, and it's going to be on sale for $30.
Cool.
Which is pricey, but once you remember that it's a 2D game with hand-drawn animations.
Yeah.
Hundreds upon hundreds of individual frames.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So it's a lot of work. So
and it's 5 whole characters.
5 whole characters.
And does each one get a stage, or is there 2 stages or something like that?
Each character gets a stage, I believe. Okay. I'm gonna look that up right now. They have confirmed 4 more characters, including Annie, and they've said that if it sells well, which it's reasonable to assume that's going to sell well.
Yeah.
They said we hope to add even more free stuff to the season pass list, up to and including a 5th brand new character. And they're still working on the details. But if it does come to pass, they will also be exploring ways in which players can also participate in the selection process of the 5th character.
So. Awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked before about like the possibility of guest characters and stuff, but I'm really excited to see what type of new characters, because like guest characters are cool and they bring people into the game.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of player that I would rather them make a whole brand new character, because I always like the introduction of new characters, because I think that's just as much of an opportunity to bring someone into the game or to bring someone back into the game.
Yeah. And I know that this kind of era of fighting games we're in right now, where everything is crossing over with everything else. I mean, the big example is obviously Smash.
Right.
But you have, you have like a 2B and Geralt and
Soul Calibur.
Who else in Soul Calibur?
I feel like there's another guest character. No, I think they're the only 2 guest characters in Soul Calibur.
Yeah, but you have like Noctis and Akuma and Negan
and Tekken
and Tekken.
Oh my God.
You have Terry Bogard in Fighting EX Layer.
Terry Bogard in Smash. Terry Bogard in everything.
Yeah. And you have Akira in Street Fighter V.
Yeah,
coming on the horizon. You also have the Guilty Gear character in Sam Show.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Guilty Gear character is
Yeah.
coming to Sam's show, which, as of recording, still hasn't been revealed who it is, I don't think.
Yes. Correct. It has not been revealed yet. So I know crossover characters kind of in vogue right now, but I agree. I would very much look forward to a new character that we haven't seen yet.
Especially since the Skullgirls roster is so unique in its own. Like, I just have a hard time thinking about who they could put in the game to fit the aesthetic.
Yeah. I think I remember last week or the week before that I suggested Darkstalkers, and that's really the only IP I can think of that I think would feel at home in Skullgirls.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, each story mode has... Well, almost every story mode has a number of characters that aren't playable. So, like, the Skullgirls universe is big enough for Hidden Variable and Future Club to put in... Like, I'm saying that they have plenty of options to choose from when it comes to characters.
Okay.
So, and I remember during the second Indiegogo when they were expanding the game and adding all the DLC characters, I've mentioned before that I think they had some like 24 potential characters they could add, all with really, really good designs. And the eventual winners were Squiggly Big Band Eliza Beowulf.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a ton of other characters that they haven't added yet that they could add. So they have plenty of options. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited to play Annie, and I'm also excited to see what they have, what they add going forward.
Yeah, I think they said that the new characters are slated... actually, no, they didn't include a timeline for... Actually, no, they did. Character 2, they said, could potentially come out in 2021, and the 3 and 4 come out in 2022, which... Right. Considering how long these characters take to make, is understandable.
Yeah.
But, you know, you never know. They could get pushed back because game development is...
Difficult.
Especially
in the current state of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout-outs to the Skullgirls dev teams. They're knocking it out of the park, and we're really excited to see what they have going forward in the future.
Mm-hmm. And, like I said, it's on sale right now for $10. If you have $10 to spare... and want to hop into this great fighting game with a great tutorial and a pre-established community that's very passionate about the game,
go for it. Do it.
You can't do a lot better for $10.
Yeah, no, seriously. Especially because, you know, the netcode is good.
Netcode's so good.
The netcode is so
Skullgirls had rollback before rollback was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, when it came out, everybody was like, oh, the online's so good, but I just sort of never got into it. And then, like, I tried playing it. I think I played with you a while ago, and I was like, okay, yeah, this online is good.
Yeah.
So, you know, hashtag play Skullgirls.
Yeah. I think, maybe every, just in my personal experience, like, maybe every 1 out of 100 matches I get a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
But just the overwhelming majority of the matches I play, they're so good.
It's good.
They feel just like offline.
So that about wraps up what we have to cover for news today. But there is one more thing that I want to talk about, and it's something fun that we're going to be doing on the show.
Yes.
We want your clips.
Send us your clips.
Send us your clips. We are going to be starting. I would like to start it on next week's episode. So this is episode 4 that you're currently listening to. Episode 5, I want to start a clip of the week segment where you guys submit your clips, your cool fighting game clips, whether they're cool, funny, something wild happens, you know, clips that you like, that you want to share with the world. Mm-hmm. We want you to submit them to us by commenting on this video on whatever platform you're watching it on.
Or you can tweet it at us at ChargeMotion.
At ChargeMotion.
Yeah.
So either tweet it at us or submit it in the comments below. And we will watch all of these clips and decide which one we want to pick to go into next week's episode. And we will watch it, we will play it on the show, and we will react to it, and we will talk about what's going on.
Yes. Doesn't matter what game you're playing, doesn't matter how good you think you are or how well you think you played. We want to see you play.
We want to see you play.
Let us see you play, please.
You know, we all have, the two of us have our games that we're good at and that we know things about, but even if it's stuff that we have never seen before, that just makes it even more fun.
Oh, yeah.
I love seeing cool stuff happen in fighting games that I have to try and figure out what it is. So don't be afraid to submit that, like, weird JoJo's Bizarre Adventure clip
Well, I actually play one of the JoJo.
Oh,
fighting
you
games,
play
yeah.
the JoJo fighting games. Okay.
Yeah.
So especially don't be afraid to submit those.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, comment on this video wherever you're watching it, be it YouTube or Facebook, or tweet us at Charge Motion and let us know that it's a submission for Clip of the Week.
Yes.
And we will pick one and we will put it up on next week's episode.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I think with that, that's going to wrap up our episode for this week. So don't forget, play the games that you like. Don't play the games that you don't like.
And thank you to Two Guys, Toys and More for sponsoring
Two guys.
the show. My name is Saximus.
My name is Ghoul.
Good fight, good night.